I feel like something like really resonated with you last meeting. Like when we just kind of removed everything that was kind of all the conditioning, and you were experiencing just that kind of that naked emptiness, that innocence. Now, we didn't really talk after it. I think we ended the meeting with that, I think. But what did you think of that? It's kind of loaded because I see what you thought about it, but
Yeah, exactly. But there is one thing is for sure because I was feeling something like a buzz,
yes.
from inside. I mean, that stayed for almost like a couple of days then,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, then I thought like that is a kind of like a shift. I mean, I was looking at it like stepwise. So this is the maybe next step. I mean, if not completely fully integrated into that, then this would stay forever kind of a thing. Maybe that expectation killed it. I don't know, but yeah, over the weekend, right now, this is what happened. The strange phenomenon that I have seen was anytime after that I was watching any of your videos on YouTube, I was again getting into the same zone. Maybe it is the tone or the setting or whatever it is. The mind kind of like attuned to it, looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once that is done, pretty much slowly it just kind of like went away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that is what I experienced. Any thoughts about it? Like, how do you see it? What does it mean?
Well, that's good. No, just what you reported is like it's good. It's good enough. Like it's good. It's this is where like language kind of just starts breaking down. It's just hard. Like that's um that's it. I mean, that's in a way that's what like a lot of people like in like the whole like these guru traditions and stuff, that they would say like that's the initiation, that you basically that's the initiation. And now you're picking up, it's not the tone, it's not my voice, it's not anything like that. You experience yourself in Thursday's meditation. Like Thursdays, see, it wasn't even the meditation because it was after the meditation, because you brought up
Exactly.
challenges for the meditation. And I said, well, just forget about that. Forget about everything that you know about meditation. Forget about everything. And I'm going to snap my fingers and you just simply go back to being an infant. Open your eyes for the first time. You don't know anything. What is this? Right? You can't use language. There's no thoughts, right? Thoughts is language. What is this? And we can't speak about it. We can't speak about it. There's no we, right? So that's what basically, it's like a full circle. That's what it kind of comes. That's the whole journey, is like coming back to just this. It's right here. It's staring you right in your face, right? It's that's where I said like it's the truth is hidden in plain sight, right? It's this everything, everything. But you could see like on this journey, we're essentially saying it's not this going through life, it's not this, I want something else, it's not this, it's not. And then the realization is that it's this, it can only be this, there's only this, there's no there's nothing else other than this, right? So that's what it comes full circle to. And that's what you get like these kind of uh, that's what you get like is these glimpses essentially. But really what it is even that word, it's like, again, like all this stuff, it's very misleading how we say it is. Because when you hear me say like a glimpse, don't you envision that you are like opening your eyes to something and seeing it? When I say you're
Mhm.
glimpsing, right? You are glimpsing. That's not really what it is. It's more so that you're blinking, that you as a person, you're seeing everything, but it's kind of like when you blink, you disappear. Because for the glimpse, it's actually who you think you are disappears. You as a person are not glimpsing anything. That experience is actually more so when the person blinks. It's when the person blinks, like the person, when it blinks, it's like it doesn't exist. And then the person kind of comes back after the blink, comes back and is okay, I'm Ravi and I got to do this whole father thing. I've got the family and all of that. And it all comes back online essentially. But the glimpse is not the person glimpsing something. Another analogy, I guess you could say, is the glimpse or that experience is essentially, it's essentially when like the sun is seen through the clouds, but the person is essentially, all the conditioning is essentially the clouds. So that's what I said is, let's go back to just being an infant, not knowing anything. The clouds separate, and what is there is just the sun. Now the sun is always there, it's just seems to be obscured by the conditioning of the clouds. The conditioning is the person, the conditioning is the clouds. So it's there. And then that's what it's like, oh, there's the experience, but the condition, the person actually is not present for that experience. It just comes back after. And then there's the re-identification in which the person says, I had the experience. The person never had the experience. It's what remains is it's just that there's pure experiencing. Now it's to realize that this conditioning actually doesn't obscure it. Just the same way the clouds don't really obscure the sun. How do you even know that there's clouds? How do you see that there's clouds? You only see that there's clouds because it's actually the sun that's illuminating the clouds. In that same way, how do you even know that there's conditioning? You only know that there's conditioning because what you are is unconditioned, and that's what's illuminating the conditioning. You are the presence that's essentially illuminating the person. The person is an appearance, right? You know as the person. You know, well, even when people say this, someone, I think it was like my sister-in-law a couple of weeks ago, she said like, she was talking about like characteristics and stuff, and she says, well, like, it's a story, but she said, like, me as a person. It's like, why do we have to say that? If that's actually, if that's what you are, then why do you have to like reaffirm it? Like, me as a person, what you actually are needs no identity. An identity is something that you create. An identity is something that you build. An identity really comes from like the root word, which is to make the same. To make the same, which implies that there's two. And that's where the confusion is. As soon as we take on this identity, we're believing that we are the exact same as it, meaning that what you are, you then say, well, I share the same limitations as this form. I, the formless, do not share the same limitations as this form. This form is limited. It started and it will end. It's appearing and it's disappearing. But I, the formless, is neither appearing nor disappearing. I, the formless, is neither coming nor going. I, the formless, never started and never end. So when we are identifying with this form and saying, I am the same as this form, then that's where the confusion is, because we've essentially combined ourselves in a way that we're making ourselves the same. So this is where I said at the start, I just basically show you is just, let's just put this aside the form, the conditioning, put that aside, and then just realize what's here. So like I said, is just drop all the conditioning, come back to just being an infant. You're a baby, you open your eyes for the first time. Now remember, no one told you anything. You don't know language. You don't know any words. So therefore, there's no thoughts, because thoughts are language. So without a thought, what is here? What is this? What are you looking at? And you can't say anything about it. Without thought, what am I? You're looking, what am I? You can't have a thought that says other. You can't have a thought that says that's a person. So without thought, there's no separation. It's the thought that creates that separation, where it says me and other, me and you. It's then what separates the whole experience and says, I am this, I am not that. But without any thought, there's no separation. It just is. It's just this. So that's that kind of full circle.